There was a post on my Facebook page about doing isometric exercises. The poster wanted to know about the tubes because he says he's getting some of the tubes for Christmas. Now, the company whose tubes I recommend is called Lifeline USA. I think they make the best products. And of course, I used their products to model my maximum muscle growth program, which was a combination of doing isometric exercises along with standard repetition exercises. I think the muscle gets much better coverage that way. That type of training will get more muscle fibers going. It'll get the fiber types that are more involved in the isometrics, as well as the fiber types that are involved in doing repetitive exercises. So that's why I call it maximum muscle growth, because this will stimulate maximal growth in the muscle. And the isometrics is just a great way to do this. And it's brief, doesn't take much time. So the question was about what tube should he buy? Now, Lifeline USA makes tubes from 10 pounds of resistance all the way up to 100 pounds of resistance, and they increase it 10 pounds at a time. They also make some great equipment, and they have one guy that you can actually put a holder around it and fit it into your door jamb, and this holds up to 3 cables. Now, what you have to understand about the isometric is isometric means exerting force against something that won't move. So you only have to get the tubing that allows you to create a position where you can't move the tube anymore and you're static. You're now working very, very hard against an immovable object, and that would be the tube. So if this is 40 pounds of tubing or 100 pounds of tubing. Now, on the one piece of equipment they have called the TNT, you can put 3 cables in that. So you could put 3 100-pound cables on that, and that's going to create enough resistance to allow probably close to everyone to do a number of isometric exercises. Now, I didn't want to invest in a lot of additional equipment, so I bought an incline bench, and I have this up in my waiting room in my office. And the handle attachment comes for the TNT. You just put it around there, and you put it in the opening where the door is, where the hinges are, and you close the door on this thing. And then all you've got to do is a combination of the right resistance cables, the ones you need, and this will be a function of the resistance they offer, and also a function of the amount of stretch that you put into the cable before you try and do the exercise, because the resistance increases as the cables become stretched. So it's going to be a function of finding the right position, and that's what I do with my incline bench. I get the right position away from the door jamb that allows me to put enough stretch into the cable so that when I begin to do the exercise, I can get to a point where I'm about halfway through whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's a curl or a tricep extension or a bench press, and then I get to the point where it won't move any further. And then I just hold my contraction for 5 to 10 seconds. Now, the general theory on isometric training is you don't have to do it very often, every 7 to 10 days. Now, a lot of research in the early years, they tried to do it every day, but they didn't do a maximum resistance, they did 3/4 resistance. So there's a lot of ways you can do the isometric. I'm just beginning to mess around with it myself now and see what's going to happen in terms of if I did it every day, do I do it maximally, do I do it 3/4 effort, 2/3 effort? Can you do it more often than once a week? Can you do it every day? I don't have the answers to those questions right now, but I'm going to mess around with it and see. I've had a bad year of exercise because I hurt my back and I couldn't do much of anything at all, not even my beloved walking. So it's feeling pretty good now. Although I went out the other day and swept the steps to my office, even though my back's been feeling good, and 10 minutes later it went into a tremendous spasm. And I've been in bad shape for the last 4 or 5 days. Can't get up out of bed, can't get off the couch. It's just finally feeling a little bit better today. I don't have that jabbing pain that I had. So that's how you want to set up your isometric exercise and your cables, and experiment with different things and feedback on the Facebook page about what you're finding out, what kind of results you're getting, because we don't have that much information in isometrics because it never took off in a big way. It really got stuck in the research laboratory, and not many people used it in their basic training programs. So we need more information. We need more people to experiment with it. So that's my tale on isometric exercise. I'm Dr. Greg Ellis.